welcome to our new show, Monuments of Ancient Rome, The Real Story on PBS. This segment, we will be presenting 3 different, yet intriguing arches of Rome.
And now, the Arch of Constantine.
This arch is the largest surviving triumphal arch and the last great monument of Imperial Rome. It was built between 312 and 315 CE. The Senate ordered its construction to commemorate Emperor Constantine's victory over the Roman tyrant Maxentius at the Battle of Milvian Bridge on October 28, 312 CE. This arch was meant to act as political propaganda. It would serve as a reminder to the Roman people that their emperor reigned for 10 years and defeated a great enemy in battle. The Arch of Constantine greatly increased Constantine's popularity with the Romans, which also increased his control over the Roman people. Constantine was revered by the people because he had led a much smaller army than that of Maxentius. During the Battle of Milvian Bridge, the emperor carried the symbol of a Christian cross and instructed his troops to do the same, despite the fact that Christianity was not yet popular during that time. Because of Constantine's bravery and show of faith in his religion, many of the Roman people converted to Christianity after his hard-won victory in battle. The Arch of Constantine is situated in a prime location along the Via Triumphalis in Rome, between the Colosseum, or the Flavian Amphitheater, and the Palatine Hill. It was modeled after another notorious Roman arch, the Arch of Septimius Severus. Constantine's arch was built about 21 meters high, 25.9 meters wide, and 7.4 meters deep. There are 3 archways, which are flanked by 4 detached Corinthian columns made of Numidian yellow marble. Above the archways is the attic, composed of brickwork faced with marble. These marble panels contain the inscription to Emperor Caesar Flavius Constantinus, telling of his victory at the Battle of Milvian Bridge and the dedication of the arch to his reign. Some parts of the inscription are missing and/or abbreviated, so the historians have worked to fill in the blanks. The inscription reads as follows: Imperatori Caesari Flavio Constantino Maximo Pio Felici Augusto Senatus, populusque Romanus quod instinctu divinitatis mentis, magnitudine cum exercitus suo tam de tyranno quam de omni eius, factione uno tempore justus, from publicam ultis est armis arcum triumphus insignum decavit. This inscription roughly translates into the following: To the Emperor Caesar Flavius Constantine, the greatest, pious Felix Augustus. Inspired by a divinity and the greatness of his mind, he used his army to save the state by the just force of arms, from a tyrant on the one hand and every kind of factionalism on the other. Therefore the Senate and the people of Rome have dedicated this exceptional arch to his triumphs. The arch is also decorated with sculptures and carvings of the Battle of Milvian Bridge. The sculptures, each representing a Dacian prisoner, stand on pedestals above the columns. Other reliefs on the sculpture were built from different sculptures of the Roman imperial era, such as the Arch of Marcus Aurelius. Many parts of the arch were taken from earlier pieces built in the 1st and 2nd century CE and recycled to use on the Arch of Constantine. These recycled sculptures are called spolia or spoils. The salvaged pieces were used to create images of Emperor Constantine at battle or performing his duties as emperor. Today, the Arch of Constantine still stands, though it has perhaps weathered a bit over time. Tourists traveling through Rome can visit this arch and be reminded of Emperor Constantine's great victory over a tyrant of the ancient world, and how his reign shaped the way Rome is today. For our next segment, field reporter Emily D'Onofrio will bring you to another part of Rome for the Arch of Septimius Severus.
The Arch of Septimius Severus stands on the Via Sacra in the northwest corner of the Forum Romanum, in front of the Temple of Concord. It was built in honor of Emperor Septimius Severus and his 2 sons Caracalla and Geta. The arch is actually a triple triumphant arch and one of the most decorated of its kind. It was decorated with sculpture that portrayed many gods and victories. On both facades above the central arch there are victories, each holding trophies. The central keystone represents the god of war, Mars. The keystones for each of the smaller arches represent Hercules and Bacchus. Bacchus is the god of wine, and Hercules is a hero known for his strength. These 2 gods were particularly held in esteem by Septimius Severus. The lower arches have depictions of river gods. Each of the smaller arches had a frieze that portrayed a triumphal procession that included the showing off of prisoners and loot. The square base, called the plinth, of each column has sculptures that depict Roman soldiers with Parthians that they had captured. The Arch of Septimius Severus was awarded to Septimius Severus to commemorate the military victories against the Parthian Empire. A particularly celebrated victory within this campaign was the capture of the Parthian capital. With the inclusion of his sons in the inscription, the arch supported Septimius Severus's claim to a dynasty. Originally, Septimius Severus had named Caracalla to be his heir to the throne, but eventually he decided to make him and Geta co-rulers. Caracalla did not want to be a co-ruler, and after his father's death in 211 AD, he killed Geta and put his name through Damnatio Memoriae, the erasure of memory. This meant he had all statues and mentions of Geta's name destroyed, including his name in the inscription on the Arch of Septimius Severus. Nowadays, the Arch of Septimius Severus is purely a tourist attraction. It is still very impressive despite the fact that many scenes are now nearly indiscernible, and there are many deep cracks in the marble of the columns. During the Middle Ages, it was converted into a fortress with the additions of towers, and it was incorporated into the buildings around it. Like all ancient structures, it has been weathered by environmental conditions, but it is still one of the most beautiful and detailed structures of ancient Rome.
The next stop on our tour through Rome is the Arch of Titus.
Titus is the oldest and shortest arch in Rome, standing at only 50 feet tall. The Arch of Titus is located at the bottom of the Palatine Hill on Via Sacra in the Forum Romanum. It is made of Pentelic marble and gilded bronze, which was inlaid in an inscription on the front of the arch. The inscription on the arch reads, Senatus populus que Romanus Divo Tito, Divi Vespasiani, Filio Vespasiano, Augusto, which translates to, the Roman Senate and people dedicate this to the divine Titus Vespasian, Augustus, son of the divine Vespasian. The arch was built between 81 to 85 AD under the order of Emperor Domitian. It commemorates the victories of the Emperor Titus in the Jewish War in 71 AD. The arch is decorated with several panels that depict images of victory in the Jewish War. The first panel shows a procession of people carrying riches and gold following the victory of the Jewish War. On the second panel, Titus is being paraded through the streets on a four-horse chariot, followed by the goddess of victory, Victoria. This triumphal arch was the first of its kind, but the design has since been copied, as shown in the Arc de Triomphe in Paris, France. The architectural beauty of the Arch of Titus can still be seen today, but sadly, many of the decorations and sculptures have not lasted through time, and much has rusted off or fallen off. In the late 19th century, restorations to the building were completed to try to make the structure more sturdy. So now, columns of the arch are fluted as well as unfluted. Nowadays, the Arch of Titus is used as a tourist destination for those visiting Rome.